Peace, family, peace. We are now live. Oh, my Buddha. I apologize. My Buddha's not in the frame, man.
Uh-oh.
What am I doing wrong?
You tripping?
I'm tripping, right? Let me fix that. Gotta fix that. All right, peace to the family. We had a lot of people waiting. Shout out to everybody that was waiting. We're gonna have a great show. This show is great because it's good for your soul. Anything that's good for your soul is food, is nourishment. So this soul is gonna be real good for the soul. We're talking about some real important concepts here tonight, family. So you're gonna enjoy the show. I want to welcome my brother Kev. Welcome back to the platform, my brother.
What's up, brother? Thank you for having me. Appreciate
Indeed, indeed, indeed. You was actually my first guest. We was just talking when I got to the A. I didn't even have my internet hooked up right,
it.
and
That's
I
right.
my screen was looking like this.
Right. Bear
My
with me, man. Bear with me. Hold
yeah,
on, man. I'm brand new. I'm brand new.
yeah, man.
you know.
Yeah, but this is my brother Kev for the West Coast, y'all. You know he deal with the higher sciences. Like I said, we're gonna have a great show tonight. Tonight's show is called Soul Contracts, Cosmic Laws, and Man-Made Laws. So great conversation. Make sure you hit the like button, family. Tell your friends and family we are live. I'm gonna get to a few commercials, and then we're gonna get started with the show. All right, family?
Hey there! Had a bad dream? I have dreams too. Some parts are scary and some parts are fun. Always remind yourself, it's only a dream and everything will be okay. I had a dream about being in a forest too. Check it out, my pet Petey was with me. Order your copy of Kayla Petey and the Forest on Amazon today.
Hey, this is King Simon, the International Numero Beta. Remember, get all my books on Amazon or go to Linktree/King Simon, the Numero Beta. And remember, don't forget to book my sessions at 347-496-1022. Book now.
All right, family. I want to thank everybody who bought Kayla Petey in the Forest. It means a lot to me. Show support to my family, and I'm definitely looking to make it into animation. But thanks to everybody who showed support and went to Amazon and purchased it. Kev, man, we got an awesome show tonight. Soul contracts, cosmic laws, man-made laws.
Yeah, buddy.
I know you deal with the law a lot in terms of cosmic law and in terms of this man-made law. You go into the all different levels. You go into the Morris aspect of it, all types of different levels, brother. But to start out with, Kev, a lot of people are looking to find themselves, my brother. A lot of people want to know who they are, why they're here, what's their purpose for be here. And we have this term called soul contract, where I guess it's, your soul made an agreement before it incarnated into this avatar we call the human body to have a certain experience.
Right.
So since we all have this soul contract, let's start out by talking about that. Now, how does one figure out what their soul contract is, my brother?
Well, to me, in my experience, this is where. So we're talking about universal laws and man-made laws, and the first map that we have to understand ourselves and our soul contract, that our ancestors left, was astrology.
Mm.
And that's our understanding, or our blueprint to understand who we are spiritually, energetically.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you understand that, if you can, unless you can go on that map and understand the energy that you manifested on this planet with, then you're going to be at a loss when when you start to make your movements, because you're not going to be fully empowered. You're not going to understand which movements that are most powerful you to make, because you don't understand who you are.
Mm.
So this is the things that we have to get back to. This is the things that's not taught not taught to us when we're children. I didn't start learning this stuff till I was in my 20s. And then when I started learning it, it's still, even now, it's spookism. That's the devil stuff and all this and that type of stuff. But understanding, energetically who you are, because we're all different. We all came here to do different things. We all have a purpose, though. We all manifested in this on this plane at this time for a purpose. But what is that purpose? What is your energy? What is the best way for you to move about this path, harmonically? That's the whole thing. Is it, we can move about this path, but are we bumping into shit? Are we running into things? Or do we have the blueprint? Do we have the rules to the game? I always like to call it the rules to the game, because before you start to do anything, you need to understand the rules. You need to understand the environment and what you're going to work in, so that you can take advantage of that environment. And so that includes first off understanding who you are, because if you don't know who you are, you don't know how to move. But then that's also understanding how the rules or the laws of the environment work. I think what was it? RZA, he said in one of his songs, it's common sense. I master my circumference. And so unless you understand that, unless you get out there and you are a master of what surrounds you, then you're gonna be taking advantage of whatever surrounds you instead of you taking advantage of it. So that soul contract that most of us make, I believe the higher vibration, the higher vibratory beings, the higher vibrational beings, we come here consciously. I think other people who are low vibration, they are drawn here to work out whatever their karma is, to work out their lessons and raise that vibration until they're able to consciously come back and then do their purpose. So that's my thing, starting with the soul contract, understanding astrology, that map, that actually came before astronomy. Like that was the first science, astrology.
Right.
Ology is study of the stars. So, and then that's when we get into the laws, the Hermetic laws, the principles, that came from the emerald tablets, the emerald tablets of Thoth or Tahuti. And so, we focus on seven of the principles. There's a lot more, but the seven main principles, and that, one of the main ones is the principle of correspondence, the plane of correspondence, or principle of correspondence, which is as above, so below, as below, so above. So right from the jump, we're supposed to understand how this solar system moves. And if we understand how the universe moves, then we understand how we move, and vice versa.
Do you think have you ever seen the movie Osmosis Jones?
Oh, come on, man. I love that.
Yo, a lot of people, with the things I discuss on the channel, a lot of people be like, yo, life, the world is really like that. Like, motherfuckers inside of us really got a whole world going on. You know what I'm saying?
Sentient mind. There's a whole cell type of mind. When you get into the first principle of the Hermetic principles, or the Tahutian principles, I like to call them, all is mind. And then there's different planes or different, states of mind. There's like elemental mind, plant mind, animal mind, all these different. So your cells also have they have a sentience. They work and they do their things without you. They don't need your permission to do whatever the hell they're doing. They're working to keep you alive, independent of your thought. Now, does that mean that you can't harmonize with those cells and get the most out of them, get that God energy out of them? That's what that is, the connecting of the mind to the body. That's the true connection. And so once we're able to do that and then link our higher conscious mind with that cell mind, which is another higher consciousness, that's when we're truly able to manifest on this planet and do what we need to do. So I came up, before I did all this stuff, I was personal trainer and nutritionist for 20 years. So, understanding how the body works, and then also doing the mind sciences and understanding the harmony between the two, and how, a higher mind can create a stronger body. And it is, that's, so these are the things these are the blueprints that we've lost, and again, that first principle, all is mind, it's the understanding that, first of all, the all, that's the living consciousness of, the consciousness of all things that exist. And we are just everything that we see in the material world is a manifestation of that collective mind, and that all is mind. And then when you understand that, then you say, all right, well, if all is mind, if what I'm seeing is just an aspect of, of the God consciousness, then that means I create my own reality. Whatever I see, whatever comes my way, whatever I'm seeing is a creation of my mentality. Like we get into the Kabbalion. Like that's my go-to book. If all my books burned up, and if I had to keep one book, I got thousands of books in here, thousands of books. If I had to keep one book, it would be that book. Even though I know it, verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to keep one book, it's that one, because again, it's the blueprint. You have to learn the rules to the game, and we've left our blueprints to say, look, you don't need to be bumping into shit like bumper cars. You're supposed to be Silver Surfer, moving through these waves of energy, surfing through them, not crashing up against the shores. So, and we've left ourselves those blueprints, but then the ruling society got a hold of those blueprints and then flipped the whole game.
Yeah.
They understand that's the power. They say, all right, well, that's how you do that shit. Okay, well, we're gonna move that right here, and then y'all take this bullshit right here. Christianity, don't y'all want to be like Jesus? Hey, Jesus is great, niggas. Hey, he floating, he was going to the cross, nigga, he came back for your sins. That's
Oh man,
how they do it. They give us the bullshit while they keep the higher shit, and they work that. So
indeed. Let me ask you, if I have a soul contract, let's say I'm a high vibrational being and I have a soul contract, let's say to be a singer or a music producer, just a soul contract, and I knew I was going to come down here to do something. We often talk about the government or the white man, or we know how wicked the parasitic elite are. Do they have the power to stop your contract from being that famous singer, or you was just never meant to be that singer if it didn't go down because the industry is so wicked or whatever? Or can nothing stop you from fulfilling what you came down here to do?
nothing can stop you. If that's your true purpose to be here, nothing can stop that. But again, you are God. I want everybody needs to understand you are the living embodiment of God consciousness.
See,
So,
it's hard. I don't mean to cut you off, Kev, but it's hard because so many people feel like, damn, if this wouldn't happen, I would have did that. Or a lot of people feel unfulfilled, like they were supposed to do something and they didn't do it. So I'm like, damn, what was those? I'm trying to figure out what happened there.
well, no, you get a lot of people's lives get dictated by society, and then, again, the environment that they live in, the control construct that they've created. And if you let your God consciousness get caught up in that matrix that they've created, then that's usually what happens. It's not you're God, but you can be corrupted. Your mind can be corrupted, or you can be confused into thinking that you're not God. And that's usually what, if you don't understand right from the jump, if you're not given those rules from the jump, as children, and you're left, just out here, untethered, just out here in the wind, then again, society, the rules of society can dictate how you are, your emotions, your actions, all of these different things, because you have no frame of reference. Now, again, the higher consciousness people, you come here, you remember your past lives, you remember those lessons. So usually, no matter what society will do, you're going to manifest as those God conscious, like you and Red and Blue and AA and everybody else, all the guys out there who you have on the show. That God consciousness comes through. You lived many past lives before, and you've remembered that that vibration has stayed within you, and it came through. It was the higher vibration to come through. No matter what, the higher vibration rules. That's one of the laws of the Kabbalion. The higher vibration rules over the lower vibration. So no matter what, that is a law. So when you come here, no matter what, if you're getting your lessons, in your lives, and you pass on, you're going to keep that vibration. You're going to retain that vibration, and it's going to grow and grow and grow each and every time you manifest.
I can't front, Kev, from a human experience. That's some extraordinary shit, because I come from the projects, and for me to be where I'm at now and to know everything that I went through, I'm like, damn, that shit was fun. But I don't want to go through it again, but it was some fun shit. It was some fun shit, man.
I'm the hood, man. I used to live with a blood and a crip in my house at the same time. One blood, lived in the front. So I had my aunt had died and left me a crib. And so I was in the crib, I was in the hood, and I had a blood that used to live in the front, I had a crip that used to live in the back.
Man, so one side of the house was red and the other side was blue.
And the funny thing was, when they went out in public, they had to seem like they weren't really cool. But in the house,
Oh,
it was funny. They was all cool and friends because they were unconscious. See, that I was the balance between the two.
right.
Of they were trying to get some higher consciousness, but it was funny, man. Being in the hood and coming from that, you can see like in the hood, man. I tell this story a lot. When I really was in the hood, like I was living around a bunch of killers and stuff like that, and because I was living with two gangsters, so all their homies would be coming to the house and shit a lot. And but they would come to the house and they would see I had all these books and all these consciousness. So they would come around and it'd be like 10 gangsters in my living room sitting on the couch reading.
Wow.
Like, they would have
wow.
Stephen Hawking. So I put in a Stephen Hawking video, right? Him talking about black holes and all this and that type of stuff. And dude, it was so crazy. I'm filming. I'm looking at I'm in the back, and I had all these gangsters sitting on the floor watching Stephen Hawking. Like all the killer dudes named with names like Killer T and and all this that type of thing. You don't get a name like Killer T unless you kill somebody. So they was all sitting around and they was quiet, like, and they were all like, hey, cuz, nigga. Yeah. So this is what we really want to be doing. However, like I said, the environment, kind of forces us into a certain lifestyle. But when you truly see the God, we're attracted to that God vibration, no matter where it is, if we can get it. This is what our souls truly want to be doing. It wants to be evolving, wants to be manifesting, But you got the people who've come here and they understand, oh, this is how they work everything. All right, well, we just gonna work that. And give these niggas some other crap.
Yeah. I just did a video. We was talking about health with this brother named Yaki. And we was talking about how mental health can be, as well as not just the food you eat. Do you think a lot of the disease or dis-ease that we see within humanity is people that's not following the blueprint of the soul? So it's like a discord that happens between you and your spirit till eventually it just totally disconnects from each other. Do you think disease is totally related to us not following who we truly are?
For sure, as well. You come here, you come here with a certain purpose. You come here to learn some things a lot of times, and also you came here to dispel some karma from past lives, which is why a lot of us have hard lives when we first come here as kids. And he's like, well, children didn't do anything. Well, what did you do in the past life? This is where astrology comes in as well. When you talk about your south node, that means the south node is what the energy you were in a past life. Your north node is what you're supposed to be working towards in this life. And so, you could have been fucked up in the past life. You could have been, you came here to kind of work off some energy, some karmic energy, some karmic debt in this life. So you may have some things that you may have to work out, but the universe will show you what you're supposed to be doing. And so, a lot of us get caught up. Like, so when you talk about when in ancient Kemet, where they show when you passing over into the duat, you're crossing over and you see your heart is weighed on the scales and against the feather. So a lot of that basically means did you live your life to the fullest of what you wanted to do? Like, do you have any regrets? Are you weighed down by anything from this life? And this is a lot of people think, was I good or was I bad? That's not necessarily what it means. It means, because good and bad are just perceptions.
That's man-made. So that's the man-made law that we're talking about.
Yeah, that's good and bad are perceptions. It's basically, though, is your heart lighter than a feather? Like, meaning, did you live your life to where you didn't have any regret? You are not bogged. Your heart is not bogged down by any negative energy that you feel that you should have done. Like, maybe you wronged somebody and then you felt, oh, I didn't correct that wrong. Some people, when they do wrong to somebody, it's not necessarily wrong to them. So this is where the perception comes in. So when that heart is weighed, when you're going past that or through the other life, did you live your life to the fullest of what you came here to do? Do you have any regret that you're leaving behind? Meaning, did I not follow my path? Did I say, oh man, damn, I should be doing this, and then I let somebody tell me, man, don't be doing that. You ain't gonna succeed at that. And then I spent my life thinking, damn, what if I had done that thing? And then you that's weighing on your heart. You know what I mean? All of these different things, regret, things that you may have done that you didn't make amends for, things that you should have done, that you just know that fear, you let fear rule your actions. Again, fear is the lower vibration. This is scientifically, they've proven how low a vibration fear is. Very low, slow wave of energy that moves very slow, while love, they've measured the love frequency and it moves like this. And so, what vibration were you in? Did you get bogged down by that? So, our soul, we come here with a certain purpose. Did you do it? Were you able to get was somebody able to turn your soul's purpose, against you? And so this is the dilemma that we come here with. Now, again, the higher consciousness people, we came, and I'll throw everybody that you have here on your show. You came to teach. These are the teachers that came to remind people of their godness. That's all. That's really truly all a teacher is. Everyone is God. No one is higher than the other. Some of us may understand our godness more than others, and then the ancient ancestors will manifest again to come and teach people who've lost that knowledge. Look, and shine that mirror on you. Look, do you see that you God? Do you see, like, like, let me turn the angle and maybe you can see it a little better. You are God. You came here to manifest. You are the creators of the universe. Are you doing that? Or is somebody else siphoning your creative energy for their own purposes and draining your life force and your spirit force? So, this is why we were left our principles, so that we can move around that.
So a concept that confuses a lot of people that's coming from Christianity or just coming into consciousness is when they hear brothers and sisters say there's no good or bad, that's all perception. People feel as though inside that's dangerous, because a person can manipulate that and do all types of shit and be like, I ain't do nothing bad. So what if good and bad is man-made laws, what would the correct cosmic version of that be? If it's not good or bad per se, but what would you call it? Because there's got to be some type of justice in the universe, people feel.
Yeah, that goes to the law of karma. That's what karma is. That's cause and effect. Energy out, energy back, energy in. So it's really, again, perception. It's a matter of perception. You ever
is that Maya? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, talking about truth. Yeah, Maya is truth. So I'll give this, like, so you ever see you seen Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so with Killmonger. So Killmonger, they call Killmonger one of the best villains in the MCU, because in his mind, he wasn't a villain. His mind, he was doing righteousness with and what he saw as being good.
Right.
So he was like, y'all niggas is chilling over here with all this technology. And we over here, we getting, where were y'all at? Wakanda? When we was getting hung in trees, when we were getting beat up by Popo, when we getting redlined and all the rest of that, y'all over here with all this damn technology, just watching us suffer in the world. So in his mind, he was like, fuck that. So again, to his perception, he's a hero, which, and again, that's the, good and bad is a matter of perception. Somebody, somebody's good may not be good to somebody else, and vice versa. But it's about karmic energy. Whatever you put out will come back. So if you do something detrimental to someone else, or even putting out detrimental energy, thought energy, that energy will come back. And that's all it is. It's like you say good or bad. Is it helpful to you, or is it detrimental to you? Is it making you evolve your consciousness, or is it devolving your consciousness? And a lot of us, we are out here, we don't understand the movement of energy, which is what the laws, the universal laws, the 7 principles were left here for us to do, to be able to move around this energy. But we don't know, so we're cracking into stuff, and we're constantly creating And the funny thing, karma, karma gets a bad name because a lot of people, when they say, "Oh, your karma is coming back on you," most people perceive it as being bad, cause and effect, because you're putting out. Most people put out energy into the universe that they're not conscious of. You're just making moves and you don't even know what the hell you're doing. Every single movement that you do, every piece of energy goes out into the, every movement, a piece of action that you do, it's a vibration that goes out into the universe. Now, is it a strong enough vibration where it gathers energy and comes back to you? Or is it, just some slight energy? So like when people say, don't say bad shit, that's true. You don't never really want to say bad shit, but it's not necessarily saying bad shit. It's constant saying bad shit. So it's like dropping a pebble in a pond. So if you drop a pebble, you stand on the shore, you drop a pebble in the pond, it creates ripples, right? But if it's just one pebble in the pond, the ripples will dissipate before it reaches the other the end of the other shore, right? Goes across. But if you start dropping pebble after pebble after pebble and reinforce those ripples to where now those ripples they go all across the water to the pond and reach the other side of the shore, then you've manifested that, right? So
it's a good example. I like it. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
So that's what people do.
Yeah.
Their bad thoughts are little pebbles into the pond. Oh shit, I'm broke. Oh shit, man, she don't love me. Oh damn, he ain't shit. Oh, he ain't. And you just constantly bloop bloop, and you skimming pebbles across the water. Negative thoughts. Things that are gonna come back on you like that. When it just the same. That's what the Kabbalion talks about. Mental transmutation. You can just as easily put out positive vibration. You can say, this is going to happen. This is going to come back. This is what I believe. You can put those positive pebbles, reinforced pebbles, and that will reach the shore. If what you choose to do. And then most of that is dictated though by your ecosystem, and like I said, it's the higher beings who come here are able to escape that, but a lot of us are not. We come here, we're in some of the first stages or the early stages of this earth school, and we're easily impressionable, and so you can get bogged down by negative thought just like that. You can constantly put that shit out.
So Kev, if this earth has been around for a long time, longer than what they tell us, especially according to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for the souls who are kind of new to this area of the universe, why are these souls just getting over here if this earth has been around for so long, for millions of years or eons or whatever? Why do we have souls that's just getting acquainted with earth?
That are just getting acquainted with earth?
Yeah, they don't have many incarnations down here. They may not have been down here a lot of times, so they make a lot of mistakes because this is like kind of new territory for them.
Well, the way this is the way I've understood it. So when the male, the divine masculine and divine feminine, they come together, you're one vibration and another vibration coming together to create another vibration. So usually what that does, you're opening, you're channeling. You pull your two vibrations, create a certain vibration that's in harmony with another vibration, and you channel and you pull that energy in. Some of us choose to come through certain beings because we know what our life path is going to be. But some of us are drawn here. The lower vibratory beings are drawn here again to go through these schools. Now, this is the way I've understood it and learned it through when I throughout my history and understanding. So when you say why some people lower vibration, they've manifested very little, because their vibration may not have been attracted to this plane that many times. So again, that's the way I understood it. Some beings, again, it depends on what you come here for. Everybody's come to get back to the source. Everybody ultimately is on the same path. You come here to learn. The consciousness of the universe comes to learn, expand, and grow. It comes out and then comes back so that you can reach the source. Now, again, some beings, it's not even that they haven't manifested here that many times. It's that they may not have on that whenever they've manifested, they have not done their goal. So again, if you can't, the universe won't pass you past school. It's not like a human school that it's just going to pass you just because you reached 16 and you in the 8th grade or some shit. No, and then just going past. No, that's not how the universe does it. The universe is not going to pass you until you are ready to move on. And so unless you've learned those lessons to be able to say, all right, now I'm truly ready to move on to the next vibration, then the universe will hold you there. Like an example of that is whenever you try to stop doing a bad habit, he's like, all right, you know what? I'm done. Like say, I'll give the example of a lot of people who smoke weed. If they say, all right, I'm gonna leave bud alone. I'm gonna give myself a break. And they truly mean it. Like they truly mean, like I'm gonna give myself a break. I've been smoking a little bit. I'm gonna stop. I've seen this so many times. When that happens, boom, 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 boom. Hey, dog, what's up? I got to say, hey, man, you want to smoke? That's the universe testing you, because you can. A lot of people say that, but they don't necessarily mean it. When the intent is pure, when your intent is pure to move on and raise your vibration, that's when the test will come. And the universe will be, period. The test will come, and so the universe will, all right. Oh, truly. So even if it's getting over women, you about to get over women, and then the universe is sending 5 bad chicks right your way. Be like, oh, word, you over, you over women. And so are you truly ready to leave and elevate past that vibration? A lot of us don't. There's evolution and there's devolution. A lot of people don't understand. You can evolve and you can devolve as well. So you can be put back on your path as well as advance on your path. So that's what happens to a lot of us as well. It's not just necessarily that we're not here a lot of times. We fail. How many people? It's a lot of dumb people, not a lot of dumb spirits who fail over and over and over and over again until they finally get it, and then they're able to move on to the next lesson.
Do you think everybody has guardian angels to assist them down here?
Sorry, bro. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So do you think everybody has guardian angels to assist them along their journey down here?
Oh, for sure. Your ancestors. This is where you get into what people call spirits and ghosts and people who have manifested here before. Some people, they hang, and before they manifest, before they reincarnate, they hang around this plane in an energetic form to make sure that their people are okay. Then when they're ready to manifest again, then they come back. But absolutely, I absolutely believe that you have some of your ancient ancestors, some of your family beings, your friends, people even from past lives that you don't even know that you knew that are still attached to that energy, who are guiding you through this path. And so for sure, I absolutely believe that. Man, I can't tell you, like, dude, I'll give you an example. I was asleep one day, right? And so I had a candle lit, and the candle was next to the wall. It's in a glass thing. I went to sleep with the candle burning, and it burnt all the way down, and it made the glass super hot. I'm asleep, dude, and I promise you, something said, "Get up." Soon as I jumped up, I looked over at the candle, and the candle exploded, and the fire went on the table and right by the wall. And had I not woke up right
on time,
the whole place would have been set on fire. So yeah, you say, do we have God?
Yeah. That's something.
Yeah, something said, "Yo, get up," and I jumped up and looked right over at that thing, and boom. So absolutely.
Why do you think sometimes a lot of times I find it high vibrational people who become conscious down there of who they are, incarnate into families who don't understand them, families who are not conscious, families who are religious, families who make them the black sheep. Why would a high vibrational being choose to incarnate just to become the black sheep of their bloodline?
He said just to become the black sheep of their bloodline. Again, that would be I think that would be dictated by each spirit. You would have to understand why they manifest in those planes. Again, most people that I know who are conscious, they are the black sheep. They're the ones. They're the only one like that in their families. Again, you would have to ask. I mean, it would depend on the soul, the spirit. For me, I can tell you why I manifested.
Yeah, why you personally?
Through the people, through my parents.
Yeah.
I'm a very autonomous spirit, right? And
what does that explain that? What does that mean? Autonomous
meaning
spirit.
I don't need nobody telling me what to do. Okay. That means I got it. I can figure it out on my own. And so my parents, they're very, very cool people, but they're very aloof people, meaning, they're not too hands-on, which is what I needed. I manifested through that, and they're very Christian-y though. Like my parents is they church Sunday Christian, church in the middle of town, super Christian. Me, nowhere near that. I came up in it though, but I had to come up in that. I think, and then also you have to come up in that to understand that energy so that you can evolve, so that you can understand what energy is not you. And a lot of times, we need to experience a certain energy to know what we need to move from and to.
Gotcha.
For me, again, I needed to be left alone as a kid so that I can figure things out on my own. I'm a problem solver. I look at stuff and all right, I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna figure that out. If my parents was too much on me, then it would have actually disrupted my my purpose for being here. So I can tell you that's truly if they had did anything differently, I would be a different person. So you would have to see how your life manifested to truly understand why you manifested. No one can truly say why you manifested through these two people. The person who manifested through those two people and has lived that life. Once you've become conscious and aware, then you would understand why you come through those people, why you would channel, through those people. That to me that's an individual thing.
Talk to me about these man-made laws. Paying taxes, paying rent, all the laws that we get. You got to have a driver's license to drive. You got to have this. You got to have that. Is that somewhat necessary, or do you think this in a society or in ancient societies we didn't need all of this permits to drive and all this other shit?
He said permits to drive. Well, no.
Like, do we own land, or is like this I guess this land belongs to everybody, right? It's Earth, right? So like, is these man-made laws, they got to be somewhat necessary, right? For
Well, no, for sure. Like on my YouTube channel, I got a documentary called The Kung Fu of Law, which Kung Fu means learn skill. So it's the learned skill of law. And in that documentary, we break down how the melanated people of the earth, we created laws going back to ancient Sumeria. You had the code of Ur-Nammu. You had that's one of the first laws, and then you got the code of Hammurabi and all of these things. So the codes that we actually have today, don't kill, don't all this and that type of stuff. All of those go back to Sumeria,
like the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, all of that goes even before that. That goes back to ancient Sumeria. These laws that we created, the first civilization that we had on Earth, and they had a major civilization. If you slept with somebody's wife, you had to pay a certain amount of money. If you did this, you got killed. If you did a lot of them you had to pay money. They had alimony. Like if they had alimony that you had to pay. If you slept with another dude's wife, then you had to pay. They had crazy laws like that all the way into ancient Sumeria. Then Code of Hammurabi. That's where you get the if you stab out one man's eye, then your eye gets stabbed out. That's where the eye for an eye thing came from. So you always had laws, but these laws, the reason we've always had laws is because the universe has laws. They has principles, set principles that it is built upon. And if you understand these laws and principles, like I said, you're able to surf through this waves of energy, instead of crashing into them. And that's truly, when one of the principles, the universal principles, is the law of rhythm, where it says, everything has its tides, everything rises and falls. And when you say everything has its tides, that's the waves of energy, and so you're supposed to be surfing this. When the wave is high, you don't get so high to where you think that you can never fall. And then the opposite as well. When the vibration is down, you don't focus on being down there so much, and be attached to that, to where you think that you're never going to rise again. You understand that these are the ebbs and flows of the universe, and you prepare for those ebbs and flows. You work to be the strongest when the vibration is at its height. And then when you're at its height, you understand that, all right, it's not going to always be like this. So let me prepare for the energy, when it comes back the other way, so I can minimize the backlash from when that happens. We don't do that. When we get high, we like, oh, nigga, I'm doing great, nigga. Snap. And you forget everything, and then you got blinders on, and you forget. You think this is going to be boom the way it is, and that's not how it always is. The universe they call it the pendulum swing. As far as the pendulum swings to the right, it swings to the left. And so it will always happen. And so you need to say, okay, when the pendulum swings, when I'm up here, or say the pendulum is, you're on the downswing. And so a lot of people just focus on the negative energy. Oh man, I'm down. I ain't got no money, man. My girl left, my dude left, he cheating, whatever the negative energy is, we focus on that, which also it makes you stay within that vibration so much longer, instead of saying, all right, this is just one of them those downswings. I'm not going to really focus on that. I'm going to focus on where I want to be. And the pendulum swing back to where I want it to be. When you're focused on that and not where you're perceived to be, you're always going to be in a higher vibration, because you understand, like, this is nothing. I'm gonna, this is gonna pass. All right, I'm gonna be back there, and you focusing on you getting back to that pendulum swing will actually help the pendulum swing back there faster. It'll increase the momentum of the swing. If you're focusing on it getting back there. Again, we create our reality with our consciousness. You are God. That is the one thing that we left here for us to be able to understand. God creates, you create. This is what you are meant here to do. And if you let anybody else tell you that you're not that, then you're devolving. You're not being the true energy and the true God person that you were sent here to be.
So the documentary that came out probably 10 years ago, The Secret, when it deals with, they call it the law of attraction, that's taken from the law of vibration, right? From the Hermetic laws.
Yes.
Okay, so all right, so since let's talk about the law of vibration, since The Secret became the most famous conscious documentary, and it it got the science of that. What exactly is the secret leaving out that's within the law of the vibration? You've seen The Secret, right?
Yeah.
Is there something that you would like to talk about that you think that it left out that's important that the people should know?
Yeah, they left out a whole lot of shit, but
whole lot of
shit. Like, excuse me. So their thing is just thinking and it'll come. All you got to do is just be positive. Now that's part of it. They forgot about the work part. You gotta, and this, what I'm saying, and also you get things based on, again, your karmic energy. If you have karmic debt out there that you have to pay back, sometimes that will block your progression until you pay that karmic debt off. That's usually how that go. And then even if you do gain, if you have some karmic debt, it may, when you're at that position where you think, oh yeah, I'm good, that karmic debt is gonna come and smack you. So like there's you know those you ever heard of the Bohemian Grove?
Yeah.
Where so every man, actually next month, July 15th, they hold the Bohemian Grove ceremony up in Northern California, where they go and they do their little ritual to Moloch, the owl, right? Where they go and they pray to the Moloch owl. And the ritual they do is to throw off their karma. So these are the what you call the rich elites of the world, people, you know, politicians and corporate heads and everything who are out here doing bad shit. So when they get to their ritual, they do a ritual to throw their karma off, meaning so that their bad energy, their bad karma won't come back. If you YouTube the Alex Jones video of the ceremony, where they're at the Bohemian Grove, you can hear them because he put subtitles. They put subtitles so you can hear the priest what he's saying when they're doing the ritual, and they're saying stuff like they call Moloch dull care because they're throwing off their cares, like they're doing this shit but they're throwing off the care about it for another year. So every year they do the ritual to throw their cares off. So they'll say basically talking to their karma, or you know, they're in the karmic energy. They say, we know we can't escape you for forever, but with the help of my brothers, I'll escape you for another year. And they're talking, this is crazy shit. This is crazy shit because they understand karmic energy is real and it's going to smack you. So they have to do major rituals to throw that karmic energy off to redirect it somewhere. And they have to do it every single year. You don't get to do those. You don't do those rituals. you don't do that shit. You put energy out, and then karmic and that energy comes back on you. So when we talking about, you know, secret and, you know, I want to be rich. You know, that's usually the main thought of most people when they talking about putting out positive thought into the universe, or I want to be rich. Okay, but then they sit on the couch and then start watching. I want to be rich, and they do that. Well, you ain't gonna be rich doing that. You know, that's the, you know, you have to put out the thought. That is part of it, putting out the conscious thought. But then the mingling, the harmony of it is the physical action behind the thought. These are the two things. You're in the physical plane. You're not just in the mental plane. You're in the physical plane as well. So you have to put the thought action out, and then the physical action, and then those two things will harmonize and come together. But again, if you just out here thinking, oh, I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be doing that, I'm gonna be doing this, and you're not doing anything physically to facilitate that energy, it's not gonna happen. it's not gonna happen, most likely, especially if you're sitting on your ass. So the secret left out so much. It left out putting out it. So basically it was like, you know, putting out in the energy in the universe of what you want, also what you don't want. You know what I'm saying? You can also block certain energies from coming at you, negative energies that you don't want coming at you. So it left so much. It only gave you a piece of your power. Like it was like a hangnail of information of what your true power is, talking about you can manifest anything that you want by putting the vibration out there, for sure. But it left you, it sold you a bill of goods because it basically told you that you didn't have to do anything for it. And so that's, you know, most people are like, I ain't got to do shit. I can get a rose just by thinking it. No, that's not the deal.
So Kev, you talked about karma a lot during the show, and you talked about good karma and bad karma, and you talked about people incarnating down here to live off some of their karma. What's confusing for a lot of people is when, say, a person incarnates down here and they hit the lotto and just all types of good shit just happens to them, and they're like, God damn, why this shit keep happening to this nigga? This nigga got the best luck in the world. That's karma. That's from a prior life.
They could have been in the past life. And I was talking to somebody about this not just the other day. This person was like, man, I'm just kind of charmed. I said, because you probably was a sex slave or something in
Oh
your
man.
past life. You
Yeah.
probably got beat. You was a slave. I mean, and this life, this is that payment for that hard life that you had
Right.
in a past life. So when you see people like that, and and it seems like they get something for nothing. That is never nothing. There's energy is never nothing. It can't be created nor destroyed.
Yeah.
If you understand that, then whatever energy is coming to someone, it's energy that they had out there that was bound to come back to them anyway, in this life or in some other life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Indeed.
that's the way I did. That's the way I break that down. Um, Now, in this life, you can if you come to this life with karmic energy. Some people do. Not everybody does, but some people come to it negative energy. I should say negative karmic energy. You work that off. You can work that off early on in your life, but you also create karmic energy here. So it's a balance. You're working off energy. If you come here with karma, if you come in, you have a hard life when you first come here. Usually that's karmic debt, from a past life. But then you don't want to create more negative energy within this life. So that's one of the things that we get caught up in, because we're in this negative world, or that we're in. We let this affect our thought, our mental vibration. Thought goes out into the universe. Thought creates, and so then you constantly keep recreating your situation with this negative energy, negative thoughts. Um, you know, but they understand that. This is why they reinforce the negative shit with melanated people. This is why you can hear, they'll put out, thug rap and gangster rap and all this bullshit. What happened to the true conscious rap? I'm old school 90s. This is where I came from, and it was conscious. It was conscious rap all day.
Right.
What
Indeed.
happened? What happened to that genre of music? Like being mainstream. You don't see any of that now, because that was raising the vibration of the people they were trying to keep down. That was raising our mental vibration, showing us that no matter what we have around us, we can create our reality. They were like, fuck that shit, get that out of here, and pump more of the bull crap into our hood to create these negative vibrations to reinforce the negative, our negative ecosystem. So the laws, I go back to universal law being left here as your beacon. Going the Kabbalion. So going to the Kabbalion, if you read the Kabbalion with they call it the three initiates. It was written by a dude named what they've traced it back to. It was written by a dude named William Walker Atkinson, and he was like an occultist and like a Mason and all these different things, Rosicrucian. And so Rosicrucians and Masons, they're working more science. So that's all they're doing, is working more science. So back when he was supposedly wrote this book in the early 1900s, there was something called the Enlightenment. And so there you had a lot of cats who were in these secret societies like Masons, and a lot of times the Masons were they were getting such a bad rap, and a lot of these secret societies back then were getting bad raps. So they would do things under pseudonyms, under pen names. And so in Rosicrucians, they did this a lot. Like they would write certain things and they would use different pen names. So like in the Bible, they talk about, so like in the Bible, going back to they put Shakespeare. They put Shakespeare in the Bible. They would talk about Shakespeare wrote the Bible. That's really, if you really get into that, that's Rosicrucian. That's Rosicrucian stuff. And so Rosicrucians, they hold a lot of the Moorish science. The Rosicrucians, a lot of people don't even understand how ill the Rosicrucians, how much of our science that they hold. Like if you go to the Rosicrucian Museum out here in San Jose, I think it's San Jose, they have a whole museum with Kemetan artifacts, actual artifacts from Kemet. It's a super, I mean, so they have, I mean, it's crazy, dude. Unks and all kind of shit in there, like real, real
Wow,
shit.
wow.
So they have a lot of our science, and so being, going back to the early 1900s, when they would come out and put out a lot of our information, they would do it under pseudonyms, these pen names,
Right,
and
right.
so the three initiates, they wrote the Kabbalion as the three initiates back then, but these again, these are just a play on 7 laws from the Emerald tablets, that of Tahuti. So if you understand these principles, I go back to this all the time, because this is the first book that when I read this book, I like it basically rearranged DNA. It rearranged DNA for me. Like I felt it. Like it was Kabbalion. It was like a remembering of everything, of all these energies. I was like, oh snap, oh, this is it. Like it was crazy, because when you are bumping around, you're bumping into shit all constantly all the time, and then somebody gives you the map on where to go. It's an empowering thing to understand what to do, when you've been running into shit constantly. So that for me was the very first thing. And when I started to apply those principles, because it's not something that you can just read right off the bat and then and then just think, oh, I got it. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Oh, excuse me, brother.
Shout out to everybody in the chat while we wait for my brother Kev. I see y'all in the chat. All right, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so they working these laws and principles, and you were asking me again how these apply to actual real life laws. The people who created these societies are occultists. They're Masons, and all the different other orders and stuff that they create. They're working these rituals, they're working this stuff, in their secret societies, in their secret temples, while you don't understand this. So they create these laws off of universal law. Like if you go to court, like even the police. I'll give you an example of the police. If anybody knows about Masonry, and you've seen the checkerboard, you've seen anything about Masonic symbolism, and you've seen the checkerboard floor, the black and white, that's called black and white magic, and that's a magic of that's a balanced magic. Basically, that energy is basically like karmic energy. It's the energy of the black and white energy. So this is why police cars are black and white. A lot of people don't understand, when you get pulled over by the police, a lot of that is karma. A lot of that is karmic energy that you have out into the universe. These cats, when they created the police force, and this is all Masons, you understand, these are all Masons. They created this with certain energies and understanding that, that polarity also runs this whole thing. If you don't understand this stuff, you will be constantly smashing into this. You will constantly get caught up by it. But when you like, I did a ritual, and I did a ritual, and I call it a ritual, but it's like a ceremony where I did in a pyramid, where I put out into the universe about overcoming the negative energy of the police, right? I did this about in 2006. And I did that ritual, did everything that I needed to do. And when I did that is when the universe started sending me all of this information on how to overcome police, how to overcome the police. It was crazy. I just did the ritual. Energy, all this information just started coming. But I was also working universal law as well. So that was the balance. Again, you can work universal law, but you are also in a world of man-made laws who base those man-made laws off of universal law. So unless you understand the principles of universal law, you are going to be left behind in the system that they created off of your energy, off of your knowledge, a system that we created to gain advantage within it, to gain advantage and then this physical plane. If you don't understand that, they will be the only ones that take advantage of all this manifested energy. Like, going into all is mind. I like to get into that. So there's something called dark matter and dark energy, right? You've heard of dark matter and dark energy. Dark matter makes up 25% of the universe, whereas the matter that we see makes up 5% of the universe, and then dark energy makes up 70%, roughly about 70% of the universe. And so, everyone understands, I hope they understand that matter is feminine. Like matter, the manifestation, that principle is a feminine principle. That's where mother comes from. Mater is mother. That's where it comes from. And so that the energy, so you're talking about, you have that masculine, the divine masculine and divine feminine. So the divine masculine, that energy, that motivating force, that energy that's behind that is, would be the divine or the dark energy. And these two energies, the divine masculine and divine feminine, are infinite potential and infinite manifestation potential, infinite creative potential, infinite manifestation potential. And so from these things, if you don't understand how these things work, this is the primordial void of consciousness that you are in, that you're able to just reach around and you're able to manifest and fashion whatever you want from these different energies. If you don't understand that, you are dead in this world right now. But this is what we come here to learn, though. So, some of us come here to break this off to everybody else. Shout out to Red and AA. You had them breaking it off, the universal laws yesterday. Anybody who understands this information, this is what we've come here to put back into the universe. Again, for me, that's what I feel, because learning universal law and making it or juxtaposing it to man-made law, I can't tell you the power that gives you. Like like most people think that
see it in your eye right now.
Dude,
you like, how can I explain this shit? I can see it in your eye.
Dude, the power,
the power, yeah, I see it, yeah.
The power that you get from knowing the law, bro. There's I hold a police stop law class on Sunday, right? And we show videos of people who know the law at police stops. That's one of the things we do. And there was a brother in Louisiana, and this is my most famous police stop. I show this all the time because this brother, he's not, I don't like to say articulate, because articulation is knowing what you want to say. To me, that's not necessarily the vibration in which you speak, because he a hood brother. So these two police officers rolled up on his lawn. They were trespassing on his property. They just saw him at his sitting out, and they just walked up on his property without a warrant, anything like that. And he started busting them, and he was saying, "You feel me? You feel me? Look at man. You feel me? You feel me?" And so he said, "You can't do that." He said, so he was like, and so he started breaking off the laws, the trespass laws. And so they were like, "Do you know the law? Are you a lawyer?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I ain't no lawyer, but I know the law." And then he said, "Yeah, Louisiana Penal Code, blah, 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 blah." He started calling out and said, "Let me show you." He pulled out his phone and he pulled up the law on them, and they were sitting there like, "Oh, damn, we shouldn't have messed with this dude." He said, "Yeah, you see my gold teeth, and you see me, you hear me talk like this, and you think you got me." He said, "Yeah, I'm the wrong one, player. I'm the wrong one, player." He said, "I'm the wrong one, player." And so he started he killed them.
Damn.
Killed them. 2 police officers. He destroyed them. And you would think this dude, when you walk past the dude and hear him talk, you would think he would know nothing about the law. But I like to show that because anybody can learn the law, and it empowers you. But again, I will always say learn universal law first, because if you have karmic energy out there, this is universal law is about karmic energy. The energy that you put out and manifest into the universe, or you put out into the universe and manifest back towards you. If you don't understand the energy that you have out there, if you don't, and especially if it's detrimental, you're going to have to pay that back. You're going to have to pay it back. So universal law should be learned first. That's your foundation of everything. Once you understand that, you can see how the legal system was fashioned off of that, and you'll move through that so much easier. But learning the two, man, it is. I try to tell people, learning the law. I think I've used this before. Learning the law is trying to tell somebody who lived in the desert, like grew up in the desert their whole life. They're 50 years old. They grew up in the desert. They've seen nothing but sand dunes and scorpions and snakes and all this shit their whole life. And then you go tell them, hey man, there's a place called Hawaii. They got waterfalls and lakes and and fish and all kind. He'd be like, man, get your ass out of here. Ain't no he wouldn't believe he damn near might try to fight you for telling them some crazy shit like that. But there is a place called Hawaii with waterfalls and beautiful plants and trees and all that. They would just have to go see it. Right. You have to take them from wherever they are. You have to take them there to be able to see it. And you have to take the journey. And so that's what it is in the law. You can hear people talk about, manifesting universal law or working the law, and getting over on police. Doesn't matter. You can see it. It can help to, reinforce that, but you have to walk the journey. You have to do it, because coming out on the other side, knowing the law, less than 1% of the planet knows the law. Even less than that knows universal law. So when you are learning both of those, you are placing yourself in the less than 1% of the planet who knows how to operate and move things and manifest things within this universe. That is a very empowering thing to be and to be able to do. But you have to take the journey. You got to do the work. And this is the fucked up thing. But most people, they want the end. They want the light at the end of the tunnel without having to travel through the tunnel. They just want to teleport from the beginning of the tunnel to the end of the light. Like, nigga, ain't no escalator. I ain't got no. I can't. Like, nigga, I gotta walk. Oh, damn, nigga. I'm gonna be over here watching the game. Like, what I'm saying? Finish. And so that's what most people want to do. But you have to take the journey. You have to take the journey. But when you do, man, you are so empowered. You are Superman times 20. I'm telling you are Superman times 20. You won't know. And this is just universal law. That's just learning universal law. Learning, then putting that with man-made law, man, it is a different ball game. But
man, let's get to a few Q&A. We passed the hour mark. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We got about 1,900 people in the building. Make that like button, family. Also, make sure you support the channel. You can hit up the Cash App, $BlackMagic363. Kev, you got a Cash App? I believe you do.
Nah, man. Somebody hacked my Cash App.
Oh shit!
You know how one mess up, they kick you out for life.
Man, I heard about they did that with Phil Valentine. So yeah, all these platforms, man, they move. Well, we'll get to. I know you got a Patreon. I know you got books. You got all types of stuff. So
yeah.
Let's get to a few Q&A. Then Kev gonna let you know all the ways you can support them and contact them for more additional questions. Let's get to some Q&A, family. Just a couple of questions from y'all. They was really enjoying the show. I was looking at the chat. They was really enjoying it, Kev. Definitely. All right, so this question is the law of polarity mutable? Realms where this law doesn't exist.
Is the law of polarity/duality mutable? No. That's a law.
It's a universal. So you mean throughout all the cosmos.
It's the law of polarity, and basically the law of polarity basically is um, it's just one thing, really manifesting in, manifesting as two poles, like temperature, or excuse me, heat, hot and cold is just temperature manifesting on two ends of the pole. You know what I mean? So you you know if you have one thing, then you have its opposite. That's not immutable. Now, if you're talking about the only muting the duality is going back to the source where we're all one. That's the only immutable. When we're manifested, we manifest, from the one as the two. There's a book, this book right here. This is one of my, so this is the second book I would keep that breaks off. So this book is one of the illest books that you can find right here, if you can find it. Like, this is I think this book may be like $100 and something now. It was like $12 when I found it. So Occult Geometry, and this is actually two books in one. So this is the first one. They made them two books or made it one book. So Occult Geometry, it breaks down so everything is energy and vibration, right? And so there's a science called cymatics. If anybody knows about this science, cymatics. And cymatics is vibrations relation to form. So it shows you, like, depending on what vibration or frequency you hit, it creates a definite form. And the higher vibrations create the most complicated shapes and forms. So any shape or form you see holds a specific and definite vibration, no matter what it is. That's even this nail clipper, or this piece of, it all holds a specific vibration. So this book breaks down the first part of this, the occult geometry. Geometry is just shapes, right? Shapes and forms. So it tells you, it breaks down the energy in which those shapes and forms was created. So it starts off with the dot going into the line, going into, so it and that's where it starts to show you how the dot, which was the unity, the dot was right off the bat, that was where we were all unified. And then the universe manifested and wanted to know itself. So then, boom, and now it starts to go away. Now you have two poles. You have the duality. The only time when it won't be duality is when you come back into the one. When the two energies, they juxtapose, or they reconcile, and they come back into the one. So when you're talking about on duality, on different realms and this and that, when we're going back to the source, that's the only true time when you are not going to have the duality, is when we're all come back, and we all come back into that one vibrational energy.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to the next question. I seen a super chat question. Where did it go? Here we go. Chan Robinson, thank you. Queen wants to know, what books would you recommend to learn more about universal law?
Kabbalion. That is going to be my number one book for learning. But then this book right here, this is a break. So you will actually, this is a study on the Kabbalion.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gives you, so the Kabbalion, the first Kabbalion is like the actual Kabbalion is like that. It's not a big book at all, but this gives you the philosophy and understanding behind those principles and understanding, because this is a breakdown on the author who created in the history of it. So to me, this is the better book of what to find, but definitely the Kabbalion. Again, there's also, we talk about cardology. I know you have people who do cardology. So astrology also being, universal law, cardology is a very intricate form of astrology. And so learning cardology is a great tool to be able to understand and your path and how you've met in the energy that you've manifested with on this plane. So a book for that you can get is Cards of Your Destiny. And so, like, everybody, so this deals with, everybody knows about the tarot, but then you have the deck of playing cards. The playing card deck is actually older than tarot.
Mm.
So these symbols that you see on the playing cards, you know, these symbols, all of that right here, these are on the pyramids. This is on pyramids in Kemet.
Mhm.
And so that's where they got that system from. This old French dude, he was studying in ancient Kemet and saw these things and developed this system. And but it's based off astrology. The whole system is based off astrology, but it's an intricate breakdown of astrology. So like for me, my card would be an ace of spades, right? I'm an ace of spades. The ace of spades deals with uh transition, or you know, death and rebirth, or wisdom and work, and you know, service to the, you know, service to people and all that type of stuff. And before I understood and I found out what that was, this is so funny thing. So I got this spade, you know, tattooed, right?
Mm.
I got that spade, on my arm maybe 5 years before I got into any conscious energy. It was just like, oh, I went and got the tattoo and I was just drawn to it. Also, I played spades when I was kid. When I was 5 years old, I learned how to play spades and I was just drawn to it. So, you know, going through life, boom, got the tattoo. Then I go to this spiritual bookstore, and there's a book called Sacred Symbols of the Ancients. If you can find that book, that's the book that actually came before this book.
Mm-hmm.
That's the book that came before this book, Sacred Symbols of the Ancients, and it was written by the two ladies, and it had a spade. It had a spade with an eye in the middle of it. So I was like, oh, okay, because I didn't know what spades meant, and people kept asking me what that spade meant on my arm, and I was like, well, I didn't really know. And I was like, damn, you need to figure out what spades mean. So I was looking for something to explain what spades meant. So I saw that, and I was like, oh, well, maybe this breaks down spades. Opened it up, and then broke and looked in there, and my birthday was an ace of spades. And I was like, oh. And then I started reading, the, you know, what an ace of spades was about, and what the, you know, because this right here, this helps you to understand why you've manifested here. So basically it's like what your life path is now. Like we've and it also can break down what your former life path was, but this breaks down what you came here to do now, what energies you have available now. And so when I started to read that and understood, it just started hitting me like bam. It was just explaining everything about pretty much what had happened in my life. And so when I started to follow and understand that, you know, that ace of spade energy is truly when everything started to come together and manifest for me, as well as, you know, working universal law. All of these things go to hand in hand. But that's truly when I started to manifest and come together. When I started is when I started to do the cardology. And then it was so funny, when I started to truly work it, it started to explain everybody that I understood, everybody that I was around. It started to break them down. And then when I would show them that energy, they would always want to rip that page out of the book because it's so on point. So, you know, these are the things that, you know, we have left ourselves, or the tools that we have available today to be able to understand what we can do.
Indeed. Let's we're gonna take one more question, then I'm gonna let the brother give you all his information so y'all could contact the brother. Can low vibrational people ascend to 5D, my brother?
Anybody can ascend. Anybody can ascend. It's the raising of your vibration is, you know, you leaving behind the negative vibrations that led you to the position where you're in. Again, it goes back to one of the things of, you know, doing the same thing expecting a different result. So if you're in a certain position, then you need to figure out, you know, the things you need to do to move you from that position to another one. Any vibration can be raised, just like you can turn the volume up on a radio. You know, anybody can turn the volume up on your vibration. You have to consciously be able to do it. Some people, though, are led into it. They don't, you know, the universe is just putting them with around in the environments that's going to raise their consciousness. But also you can do that consciously. You can say, all right, I've seen this. All right, let me go and research more. All right, I've seen that. Let me go and research more. And the more information that you get is constantly raising your vibration. Raising your vibrations will take you to different levels, different dimensions. It's not a hard thing. It's not a hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not a hard. Let me say that it's a hard thing to do, but it's a simple process. But it's a lot of people who find it hard to be able to stick and be on that path and understand and learn that vibration and raise their vibration. But anybody can do it. It's not a. I've seen people. Again, I was with gangsters. I was with hardcore killer gangsters, and I saw them cats pick up books and read and boom, and then they started to take this information and go and stuff, and they were like, "Hey, cuz, you read this? Hey, cuz, check this shit out, cuz." They would do stuff. They would do stuff like that, and but they're talking in their own language, but their vibration is raising. Anyone's vibration can raise.
Indeed. Kev, man, I want to thank you once again for coming on here. We gotta. I want us to do a show again soon on cymatics. We gotta dedicate a show. We gotta have some images, man. I want to do some powerful shit dealing with cymatics, man.
Dude, cymatics is the one way that we explain how this universe is manifested. Everything is vibration. Everything is energy and vibration. As you know, we do the we do the tuning forks, and if you look up cymatic videos, any of y'all before we do this, y'all look up just cymatic videos, you will see cats with they're putting certain frequencies into like sand, and then the sand starts to take on these amazing shapes and forms that look like the merkabas and all the ancient shapes and symbols that our ancestors used to draw and paint on the walls and do all these different things. What you're looking at is music. You're looking at literally when you're looking at these different these beautiful shapes and forms, you're looking at music. You're looking at sound and vibration. And so that is cymatics is the true way to be able to understand the how this world was created. It's the most awesome thing to me. It helped me to really, it helped to open me up to really understand. If you truly understand that you are channeling, like most people when we did the show on this before of how your brain is a tuning fork and you're just channeling vibration. You're not you're not remembering, you're not restore or holding information in your brain. It doesn't hold information. It channels information. It channels and manifests the infinite frequencies that are constantly out here. So and when you're able to raise your consciousness level, you're able to manifest in more of these vibrations and frequencies that are just moving through you constantly. The lower vibrational people, these energies are just moving through us as we raise our vibration and able to harmonize with these higher vibrations. They will manifest within the body, and we will know what they are. But that's my shit, man. The cymatics, everything, vibration and energy.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna make it happen. Kev, leave your contact info for the people. Everything you got going on, man. You got classes, you got all types of ish going on, man.
Well, yeah, man. Like I said, learning this physical law is our last. That's the last bastion for me. Like we've done everything in history. Think about it. We've done everything. We marched. We've been activists. We've done everything to try to take advantage of the system. But the one thing is just sit down and learn the rules to the game. And this is, one of the reasons we did this today, because there's rules to the game universally. And then there's rules to the physical, the universal game. There's rules to the physical game. And if we learn those rules, I promise you, this is the way we come out of the bullshit. Think about what they use. The first line of offense they use against our community is the police. They use the police against us. Why? Because that separates the classes. The police is that one line that they have from what they call the elites and the lower class that separates us. And that's the first line of offense that they use to be able to keep us in those positions. But if you're able to deal with the police right off the bat, let's just right off, like give an example. Most of you think when the police officers roll up on you, they're able to just pat you down. Like, and so just you start patting you down, feeling you up and shit. Like, like what most of you don't know, police officers cannot pat you down unless they suspect you of having a weapon and you being dangerous with that weapon. And then they can only pat you where they think the weapon is. Did y'all know that? Nope. Most of y'all just let them be feeling you up and doing all of that type of shit. So again, learning the rules to the game. If you understand that most police officers, they lie when they roll up on you, they to violate your constitutional rights. And if you're able to stop that right from the jump when they roll up on you and you say, yo, do you have reasonable suspicion to believe that I've committed a crime? If you can stop them right there, then all the other bullshit that we deal with police falls to the wayside. And that's the easiest stuff, is just to stop a police right from the jump. But you have to know the law to be able to do that. That's just simple shit. So, this is why we created the Know Your Rights Foundation. And this is the Know Your Rights Manual. This teaches you everything you need to know about traffic stops and Terry stops, which are police stops on foot. Because, again, police officers will come up to you and what they understand is most of us don't know the law. What you don't know is most police officers don't know the law either. Most police officers don't know the law at all. They just get certain policies that they learn within in police school, and then they come out there and they're just working these policies that they learned in police school, but they don't know the law. So if you learn the law, you have an advantage over these police officers. At least 97% of police officers don't know the law. This is why you learning the law you will elevate past that. So we created, these are flashcards. These are police stop flashcards. So that you can get with your kids, your children, 30 minutes a day, every other day, to sit back and learn these laws, because there's no excuse. Before, we didn't have the rules to the game. Now you got the rules. Know Your Rights Foundation created the rules to the game. So here you go. And also we have this is U.S. law and government flashcards, because again, you have to learn the system that you are in order to be able to take advantage of that system. If that doesn't make any sense, then you're going to be left behind. You cannot take advantage of a system when you don't know the rules of that system. All right. So this is just the first one right here. And then if police officers really come at you, they got some stuff called police or public official bonds. Basically, it's like police insurance. And so every police officer has this. It's about each bond is about $70,000 per bond. So that means $70,000 every time they violate your constitutional rights. The bond is tied to their oath to the Constitution. So that means if they violate your constitutional rights, that bond, you can claim that bond for every single incident they violated your constitutional rights. It's worth $70,000. Did y'all know? Y'all don't know that, but this right here, this is a public official bonds book. This tells you how to place a claim on that bond. It also tells you where to go find the bonds in your state so that you can do that. It's not an easy thing necessarily, because they know this is their last line of what you have against them. So they'll play 3-card money with the bonds and be moving it from here to here to here. So you got to do the footwork, but this tells you where all the places to go and do the footwork to find that bond so that you can get back at police when they violate your constitutional rights. And then you can get all of that for free. If you go and order the Great Book of Melanin Research, this is all the research they've been doing on your melanin for the past 117 years. 117 years. This is in here. They talk about the civil rights movement was because Black people's melanin was turned on. That's what they said. Your melanin was turned on, and that's the reason for the civil rights movement. So can we get our melanin turned on again? In order to do that, we all have to unify. And so they understood that, if we break these niggas up, that melanin, it's hard for that melanin to come on collectively. So right in here, it breaks down how to keep your melanin healthy and how to empower your melanin. Also, your melanin is $511 a gram on the stock market. Most people don't know. $511 a gram on the stock market. That's $14,000 an ounce. Gold is what? $2,000 an ounce? Your melanin is worth $14,000 an ounce on the stock market. This will tell you why. This comes in 2 books. Rich got both of them.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So this comes in 2 books, and when you order everything, I give you everything in digital copy as well. You don't just get hard copies. I give you digital copies so you can have it all on your phone. And if you just want the police stop law package, go